There's a quiet rebellion rising in America. Not the kind with the bang bangs or the flags or storming buildings, but something deeper, something more cultural and more dangerous. It's the kind of a rebellion that begins with a whole generation that looks around and says, "This system doesn't work for us," and maybe it never did. That generation is Gen Z, and right now they're losing faith, not just in one party or one president, but in democracy itself. So today we're going to ask, why is this happening? What does history say about movements like this? And is there a path through this storm that doesn't end in collapse? Because if the fourth turning is real and we are living through it, then what happens next is going to depend on them, and whether the rest of us are ready to listen. Let's start with the numbers. While a majority of Gen Z still value democratic principles, recent surveys reveal a complex relationship with the current system. For instance, a 2023 APM Research Lab poll indicated that only 27% of Gen Z strongly agree that democracy is the best form of government. Other research, like a 2023 Open Society Barometer report on young people globally, has shown that over a third of young adults may be open to a strong leader who doesn't have to bother with elections. Though the precise interpretation of such findings is debated and varies across studies, but many say they feel completely disconnected from traditional politics. Not just cynical, but uninterested. This isn't just apathy, it's disillusionment. And disillusionment is not laziness, it's a sign of betrayal. Gen Z came of age during a period marked by the enduring impact of 9/11 and the subsequent prolonged conflicts, the 2008 financial crisis, and mass shootings that have been normalized, climate disasters, COVID shutdowns, a housing market they can't afford, college debt they can't escape, and a political system that feels more like performance art than public service. They were told, go to college, work hard, vote, and things will get better. But what they got in return was instability, surveillance, wage stagnation, and a bipartisan machine that seems more interested in maintaining power than solving problems. And they're asking, if democracy leads to this, then maybe democracy isn't the answer. That's the voice we need to hear. Not to dismiss it or to argue with it, but to understand. This isn't the first time a generation has lost faith in the system. In the 1770s, the American colonists didn't believe Parliament would ever represent them, so they rebelled and built something new. In the 1860s, millions of Americans saw that slavery and democracy could not coexist, and it led to the bloodiest war in our history. In the 1930s, during the Great Depression, faith in capitalism itself crumbled. FDR rebuilt that faith by reimagining the American promise with Social Security, labor protections, and a new social contract. And in the 1960s, the baby boomers watched a president assassinated. They watched a war escalate and civil rights crushed under police boots. What followed was protest and unrest and a cultural transformation that redefined American life. These were all fourth turnings, moments when the old order lost its legitimacy, and a new generation stood up to say, this is not enough. The question is not whether the rebellion will come. The question is what kind of rebellion it will be. Understanding the fourth turning, or the fourth turning theory, as a framework for interpreting generational cycles and historical change. It was proposed by William Strauss and Neil Howe. It says that history moves in cycles, roughly every 80 to 100 years, and each cycle ends in a crisis, a moment of institutional collapse and radical change. Think the American Revolution, the Civil War, the Great Depression and World War II. And now, it's us. Each time a new generation rises, one shaped by hardship, distrust, and a refusal to keep playing by broken rules. In this turning, that generation is Gen Z. They are the heroes of this cycle, not in the sense of being perfect or wise, but in the sense of being forced to rebuild a world they didn't break. The fourth turning doesn't guarantee a better world. It only guarantees upheaval. And the outcome depends on what the next generation chooses to build. That's where things get real. You don't have to guess what the founders thought about this. They knew democracy was fragile. Jefferson wrote, "The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants." Washington warned in his farewell address, "The alternate domination of one faction over another is itself a frightful despotism." Madison feared that concentrated wealth and factionalism would corrupt the republic beyond repair. And yet, they still believed in building it. They believed that ordinary people, given enough knowledge and enough courage, could govern themselves better than any king or technocrat. But that required something we've lost, a shared sense of responsibility. We don't have to agree on everything, but if we lose the idea that we, not they, are supposed to hold this thing together, then we've already lost it. So here's the truth. Yes, Gen Z is losing faith. Yes, the system is broken in 1,000 different ways. Yes, we're in the final act of this cycle, but the rebellion doesn't have to be violent. It doesn't have to be cynical, and it doesn't have to be wasted. It can be a rebellion of knowledge and civic renewal and community resilience, local action and shared stories, economic reinvention, mutual aid, and the radical act of choosing connection over division. We've been told for years to vote harder, as if that alone will fix the rot. But the real work is rebuilding trust, and trust is built from the ground up. In friendships, in neighborhoods, even in online spaces like this one. In ideas we're willing to fight for, and truths we're willing to tell. Your voice matters more than ever. So if you're watching this and you feel disillusioned, maybe that's good. It means you're paying attention. But don't stop there. Start questioning. Question everything. Read the Constitution. Organize your block. Talk to people who don't agree with you. Learn what the founders feared and what they hoped. And above all, remember, the rebellion is not just coming. It's already here. And you are part of it. Whether it ends in collapse or renewal, that's still up to us. All right, folks, if you found this video helpful or thought-provoking, please like it, share it, and leave a comment, especially if you're part of Gen Z. It's okay if you're not. I'm not. I still want to hear how you see the world right now. And if you want deeper dives, exclusive content, and behind-the-scenes commentary, check out my free Patreon. It's how we build the community and keep it going. All right, thanks for watching.